Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Garvey Park in Dorchester, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage of today's high school varsity boys lacrosse contest between the hosting Wolfpack of the Boston Latin School and the visiting Brookline High Warriors. It is a beautiful looking Saturday afternoon out here in Dorchester. Definitely much better weather compared to what we saw out in Canton on Thursday. For those of you who tuned into the live stream, you know how disastrously that live stream ended. But right now, sky's looking pretty clear. And fingers crossed it stays that way, and we can have full coverage of the full game today. Especially because this one is a game with a bit of stakes to it. Both teams coming in not necessarily with the best of records, but both right on the bubble of playoff contention. Let me explain. So the latest MIAA Division I power rankings came out on Friday morning. Now, within those power rankings, the top 32 teams in those power rankings at the end of the regular season will advance to the state tournament, as well as any team below the top 32 that finishes with a 500 or better record. Both Brookline and Boston Latin currently stand with losing records, but both really hovering around the area of that top 32. Brookline coming into this contest with a 2-6 overall record following that loss to Canton on Thursday, but their power ranking has moved up from 34th to 31st after the big win earlier this week over Braintree. And so if the season were to end right now, Brookline would just barely make it into the state tournament. For the Wolfpack, on the other hand, they are trying to fight their way into a playoff spot. Coming into this one with a 2-8 overall record, they are ranked 35th in the power rankings. So if the regular season were to end today, they would find themselves just outside of the playoff picture. So Brookline trying to fight to stay in the postseason. Boston Latin trying to fight to get into the postseason. And so this should be a good one. Oh, wow. I just got a very helpful email from Jim Wilson sending me the roster for Boston Latin. I didn't have their roster. I was afraid I was just going to have to narrate by jersey numbers, but it looks like I'm actually going to be able to call out their names. That's wonderful. So if you'll bear with me here, folks, I'm just going to take a moment and type these in. Might not have much to say while I'm typing, so just bear with a brief amount of radio silence here while I fill this out. No scoreboard cam today. We got no scoreboard out here at Garvey Park, or at least none that are turned on. And the only scoreboard out here would be a baseball scoreboard, which really wouldn't work for lacrosse, because there's, fun fact, no clock in baseball. So yeah, that wouldn't really work. But we are slated for a 2:30 start time. It's about 2:20 now, so we're approximately 10 minutes away from getting this one started. Okay, we've now got rosters typed in, and it looks like we're almost ready to get this one going here in the first of 4 12-minute quarters. But it looks like we're still warming up, so friendly reminder, if you end up enjoying this live stream, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams. And if there's anything you'd like to say, I encourage you to say it in the live chat. As you can see, we've already got our first note in the live chat from one of our regulars, Marlene Lyons. Go Brookline, Dylan Katz, my favorite goalie. So you see any messages you want to leave in the live chat, or if you're not comfortable with the live chat system, you can send me an email, which you can see my address in the bottom right corner of your screen. But yeah, anything you want to say, whether it's go Brookline or go Boston Latin, no matter who you're rooting for. If you want to give a shout out to a specific player, if you want to let us know where you're tuning in from, that can be fun. If you notice any technical difficulties, either with the video, with the Wi-Fi connection, with the audio, I encourage you to speak up and say something. And then if I'm messing up the pronunciation of any players' names, then I encourage you to correct me in the live chat. Want to give these young men the best coverage I possibly can. On that note, let's run through these rosters real quick as the warm-ups are coming to a close. We'll start first with the Wolf Pack of Boston Latin School. Going in order of jersey number for Boston Latin, first off we have number 2, Liam Sullivan. Next we have number 3, Captain Angelo Lester Barali. Number 4, Caleb Fleischer. Number 5, Nolan Rowley. Number 6, Anthony Lohan. Number 7, Garrett Berube. Number 8, Benjamin Davidson. Number 9, Ronan O'Connor. Number 10, Max Howard. Number 11, James Heath. Number 12, Lorenzo Vespignani. Number 13, Dylan Murray. Number 15, Adam Whitney. Number 16, Will Ferraro. Number 17, Ryan McHugh. Number 18, Tyler Osborne. Number 19, Quentin White. Number 21, Billy Cuniff. Number 22, Aiden McHugh. Number 23, Michael Chuiri. Number 24, Keegan Gallagher. Number 26, Charlie Partridge. Number 27, Captain Jack Burstein. And number 28, Ronan Ezekiel. Sorry about that, folks. Sinuses were acting up for a second there. Anyway, that is the roster for the Boston Latin Wolfpack. Excuse me. Oh, beg your pardon. Apologies. Anyway, here is the roster for the visiting Brookline High Warriors. Going in order of jersey number again, first off we have a sophomore, number 1, Craig Addy Haas. A junior, number 8, Max Delaney. A sophomore, number 11, Manny Tolkoff. A senior captain, number 13, Jack Henry. A sophomore, number 14, Emil Grinberg. A sophomore, number 15, James Carr. A junior, number 16, Billy Bamberg. A junior, number 18, Thomas O'Brien. A junior, number 19, Ryan Wilson. A junior, number 21, Jonathan Diaz. A sophomore, number 22, Travis Applebaum. A freshman, number 23, Jacob Fish. A senior, number 24, Seth Walpowitz. A freshman, number 26, Buzz Blackburn. A junior, number 31, Dylan Katz. A junior, number 40, Jack O'Connor. A senior, number 45, Pete Blackburn. A senior captain, number 46, Shabar Peterson Davis. A senior captain, number 51, Henry Ames. And a sophomore, Locke Adkins. Head coach of the Brookline High boys lacrosse team is Dan Gardner. So those are your two rosters coming into today. We see the starters for both teams coming out onto the field now. It's so funny to be back here. It's so funny for me to be back here at Garvey Park covering lacrosse, because those of you who follow my live streams, you'll know I was here just last Friday, not yesterday, but a week before yesterday, covering baseball between the Brookline Warriors and the Dragons of Boston Latin Academy. And it's also so funny that usually when you see another sport being played on a baseball field, like the uneven surface that comes from the infield dirt and that little divot before the outfield grass can sometimes throw it off. But the field here at Garvey Park is a turf field, so there's no unevenness at all. We see the two goalies heading to their respective nets. For Brookline, number 31, Dylan Katz. And for Boston Latin, I believe, I am reading number 16, Will Ferraro, in net for the Wolfpack. As we set up for the face-off here to start the first quarter, Warriors and Wolfpack, here we go. This one flies up in the air, and it's recovered by Boston Latin, taken by number 18, Tyler Osborne. Osborne runs it into the attack area, gets the initial touch, and now the Wolfpack set up on offense. Swinging it around to number 3, Angelo Lester Barali. He charges in, trying to fight around the defenders. His shot is launched wide. It'll stay with the Wolfpack. Number 19, Quentin White. Pass it around, coming around the back. Still fighting. Tight coverage. Number 5 throws a pass through. Wasn't ready for it. It's a loose ball down on the turf. It's a scrum for it. Several players in there. Coming out with it is Shabar Peterson-Davis for Brookline. Peterson-Davis races it across midfield. And just charging in, shoots, scores! Shabar Peterson-Davis, coast to coast for the first goal of the game. Boy, what else can you say about that? Peterson-Davis just took off running, noticed no one was really coming up to cover him, just charged in and finished. So a 1-0 score in favor of the Warriors off the goal from the senior captain, Shabar Peterson-Davis, known more for his defense rather than his offense, but there, notching the first goal on the board. Face-off violation is called, gives it to Brookline. Jacob Fish throws it over to Buzzy Blackburn. Blackburn gets the initial touch, throws it down to Walpowitz, around the back to Ryan Wilson. Wilson swings it over to Manny Tolkoff. Tolkoff throws it back up to Fish, and Fish over to Blackburn. Blackburn charging, trying to juke around his man, but cannot. Throws it to the back to Wilson. Wilson cutting across the back, trying to gain the edge, spins, gets around, couldn't get the shot off, and it's collected by Ferraro off the loose ball. Gutsy attempt from Wilson, but couldn't keep his footing off that one. As the Wolfpack on the attack, long, dangerous pass, skips away, and it looks like it's going to go out of bounds. Bit of an attempted bounce pass there from number 27, Jack Burstein. And now Brookline trying to take advantage. Peterson-Davis running up with it. Again, simply walking it up now, floats pass over to Blackburn, thrown ahead to Seth Walpowitz. Walpowitz to the middle, wide open, James Carr! Brookline with the 2-0 lead now as James Carr off the assist from Buzz Blackburn. Brookline now up 2 here in the first. Off the face-off, it's bouncing. Nobody able to pick it up cleanly yet. Now scooped up by Haas. Lost the ball, though, and it's taken back by the Wolfpack. But that one's knocked loose and almost picked up. It is recovered by Thomas O'Brien. Hard battles here through midfield. O'Brien gets taken to the ground. A flag is thrown. And with the flag thrown, I think Brookline's going to get the man-up advantage, and indeed they are. Only 5 defenders, plus the goalie now for the Wolfpack, as Brookline will have the full 6 attackers. Blackburn walks it up. Throws pass across to Fish, down to Wolpowitz, to the back to Wilson. Wilson, pass to Tolkoff. Tolkoff winds, fires, kicked aside by Ferraro. Wilson keeping the possession. Pass out. Wolpowitz shot. Might have been turned aside by Ferraro. Once again, Wilson there in the back to cover it. Keep the possession with Brookline. Wilson out to Tolkoff. Tolkoff decides against the shot. Gives to Carr. Now up top, Blackburn. Over to Fish. To Wolpowitz. And to the back to Wilson. Wilson didn't approach. Passes out to Wolpowitz. To Fish, to the top, Blackburn, to Carr, now Tolkoff, Wilson. Wilson tried to pass through traffic, too much traffic, it's bouncing along, recovered by Carr, passed ahead, jump shot, Wolpowitz, stopped by Ferraro. Some big saves for number 16, Will Ferraro. Keeps Brookline from making it a 3-0 game. Now Osborne taking it up for Boston Latin. Throws pass forward. Coming off a defender and across, I believe, is number 5, Nolan Rowley. Rowley trying to force his way through, spins, shot. Shot didn't even make it to the goalie as it was blocked. Picked up by number 3. Long shot missed wide. That one off the stick of Angelo Lester Barali. Out from the back to Osborne. Osborne over to number 21, Billy Cuniff. Cuniff to Rowley. Now over to Lester Barali. Lester Barali trying to juke. Pass through traffic. Ball's knocked down, bouncing through everybody, and it's just going to roll out of bounds. Brookline ball. And Peterson Davis gives it to the goalie, Katz. He runs up with it. Floating pass, knocked down, but recovered off the bounce by Wolpowitz. Wolpowitz trying to fight around his man. Charging in, shoots, saved by Ferraro. Will Ferraro with a few nice saves here, as bursting long pass is collected by number 7, Garrett Berube. Berube charging in, pass floated to the back. Now back out for Osborne, juggled it briefly but recovers. Gets a pass away. Rowley trying to spin through traffic. Coming around, forced the shot, it bounces over the net. Boston Latin back there to keep possession. Pass out the back, goes to Osborne, up top to Rowley. Rowley over to Berube. Now over to Lester Barali. Lester Barali jukes around his man, but almost lost the ball, gets sandwiched, and he picks it up and scores. Angelo Lester Barali gets the Wolfpack on the board with that one. And it is now 2-1. Boy, he had to fight through about 3 defenders to get that shot. Good tenacity from the Boston Latin captain. Off the face-off, it's scooped up by the Wolfpack. Pass ahead to Lester Barali, lost the ball. Being fought for, O'Brien recovers it. Thomas O'Brien off the takeaway, passes ahead to Tolkoff. Tolkoff. Still carrying it, now floats pass over to Wilson. Wait, what just happened? Did we just go dark? What just happened? Uh-oh. Okay. Whew. All right, we didn't miss any goals, but boy, I'm hoping that's my lone heart attack for the day. Charging in, shot is in. I got it back up just in time as James Carr scores his second of the day. Great move around his man, lefty shot. James Carr now with 2 goals today as Brookline takes the 3-1 lead. Face-off chased down by Boston Latin's number 22, Aiden McHugh. Now the pass goes up to Lester Barali, to the back, to number 19, White. White pass, juggled. Rowley couldn't collect it, and now swooping in to scoop it up again. It's Peterson Davis. He's off and running with space to go. Charging in, winds, fires, bouncing off the crossbar. What a wild, long shot from Shabar Peterson Davis, but ultimately the post not his friend on that one. Pass from Osborne goes up to Lester Barali. Lester Barali trying to force his way through. Throws pass down, misses, and it bounces out of bounds and will be Brookline ball. My apologies for the brief technical difficulties there, folks. We got some notes in the live chat from one of Brookline's teammates, Henry Ames. He's out currently with an injury, but cheering on his teammates in the live chat. Love to see you tuning in, Henry. Hope you're enjoying the game and hope your injury recovers as soon as possible. Brookline moving it upfield. This is Blackburn. Blackburn runs it all the way to the back, passes across to Wilson. Wilson out to Wolpowitz. A 3-1 Brookline lead here in the first quarter as Fish gives it to Carr. Carr with 2 of Brookline's 3 goals so far. Starting to make a move, charging in, firing a shot, missed wide. Wilson at the back to make sure it stays with the Warriors. Wilson carrying it all the way around to the top. Around a pick from Carr, picks up speed, finds an opening, shoots, save by Ferraro. But the ball bounces back towards Wilson. It's still loose. Picked up by Brookline, and a score! Jacob Fish, the freshman. I think we might have just witnessed Jacob Fish's first career varsity goal off of this absolutely wackadoodle rebound as he picked it up in that scrum, fired a shot, and Brookline takes the 4-1 lead. As I think a timeout was just called. But boy, I love getting to see that. Jacob Fish called up to the varsity team earlier this week, I believe. He wasn't even in last Saturday's game. He wasn't on the roster for a week ago when Brookline beat Cambridge Ringe in double overtime. Got called up this week. Got his first career assist in the win over Braintree. And while admittedly I did miss a few of the goals against Canton, so this might not be necessarily accurate, but I think it is. I do believe that was Jacob Fish's first career varsity goal. So a 4-1 Brookline lead off of 2 goals from James Carr and 1 each from Jacob Fish and Shabar Peterson-Davis, and Buzz Blackburn with the team's lone assist so far. For Boston Latin, the lone goal so far coming from Angelo Lester Barali. And so that's where we stand. You know, James Carr, definitely one of the usual suspects for Brookline in terms of scoring, but some surprise goals. The first one coming from the defender, Shabar Peterson-Davis, who just carried the ball coast to coast unhindered for the first goal of the game. And now the most recent one coming out of a mad scrum for the ball and scored by the freshman, Jacob Fish. So already a wild game as we are still in the first quarter. The team's not switching sides, so we're not in the second quarter yet. That was just a timeout. Face-off won by Jonathan Diaz, and he takes off running. Floats pass up to Tolkoff. Tolkoff throws it up to Blackburn. Blackburn begins his approach, charging in, shot missed wide. Wilson there to cover. As the rule in lacrosse is if you miss a shot and it flies out of bounds, it's not a matter of who touched it last, it's a matter of which team has the player closest to where the ball is when it goes out. Wilson spins a couple times, coming around the back, forced a shot through traffic, just wasn't there, and it's scooped up by Ferraro. Boston Latin trying to work in transition here. Pass gets up to Osborne. Osborne gets around Peterson-Davis, charging in. Extra pass. Lester Barali finishes. Lester Barali from Osborne cuts the Brookline lead back down to 2. Brookline just over-pursued on the defense a bit there. Gave Osborne a great opening for what was basically a 2-on-1 rush. Off the face-off, it is scooped up by McHugh for Boston Latin. Floats it over to Osborne. Osborne up to Lester Barali. Lester Barali, the only goal scorer for the Wolfpack so far, as he throws that one over to Rowley. Rowley throws to the back, misses his intended target, and that's going to go out of bounds. Brookline in transition, long pass from Henry, not in time for the final horn of the first quarter. So we are through one here at Garvey Park in Dorchester, Massachusetts. Our score at the end of one, Brookline 4, Boston Latin 2. Goal scoring so far, 2 goals from James Carr, 1 each from Jacob Fish and Shabar Peterson-Davis. The lone assist for Brookline coming from Buzz Blackburn. For Boston Latin, 2 goals from Angelo Lester Barali and 1 assist from Tyler Osborne. And if there's one possible adjustment to be made for Brookline, you know, it would definitely be don't try to force shots that aren't there. You know, we've seen a couple plays where they're almost playing like they're trying to make something out of nothing. They've been getting good openings. You know, this is not, the Canton defense they're going up against where, you know, they would hold the ball for, for like 5 or 7 straight minutes without scoring on the possession because the Bulldogs wouldn't give them any openings. Brookline's getting openings, and that shows on the scoreboard. At the same time, got to give credit to Will Ferraro. He has made some nice saves in net for the Wolfpack to help keep them in this game. Definitely a few shots that Brookline's had that could have potentially gotten past him, and if they had, this game could have quickly gotten out of hand. Opening face-off of the second quarter. Ball's knocked loose, chased down by McHugh. Aiden McHugh floats a pass, intercepted, swooping in and taking it, I believe is Thomas O'Brien. O'Brien, quick pass up to Walpowitz, lost the ball. It's scooped up by Ferraro. Brookline almost with a big attack there, but instead the ball flies the other way. Off the bounce, it is recovered by the Wolfpack as White floats it up to Osborne. Osborne back over to White. White spins off his man, but nowhere to go as the help defense was there to help cover. Osborne's pass misses Lester Barali, and that gives the ball back to Brookline. Pass up the line gets to Blackburn. Blackburn racing down behind the net. A timeout was called. For a second I was like, wait, what they blow the whistle for? It was a timeout called by Brookline. Let's check out some of the notes we've gotten so far today. I mentioned before from Henry Ames, Dylan Katz for MVP, and Let's Go Brookline. From Marlene Lyons, a second note, nice going Brookline. And from Ellie Sternberg, let's do it Brookline. And then we've got our first note via email from James Wilson. Glad to see the weather is much better today. Nana and Pop Wilson are enjoying another game Thanks to you, Jesse. Thank you so much. Always happy to see you guys tuning in, and I hope you're enjoying the game. Been a pretty competitive game so far, with the edge towards Brookline as they still lead by 2 scores. And out of this timeout, we'll see if Brookline maybe has some kind of a play in mind or some new offensive adjustments. I'm going to try and adjust my camera just a smidge. Out of the timeout. Send it up top to Blackburn. Now over to Fish. Fish lost it, but recovers it in bounds. Throws it to Walpowitz. Walpowitz to the back to Wilson. Wilson, long pass, misses Tolkoff. And a turnover out of the timeout. That's not what Brookline was hoping for out of that. Pass goes back. Now up to the goalie, Ferraro. Long pass. Boston Latin works it all the way to the back. White tries to pass through traffic, too much traffic bouncing along. And they're trying to recover it. Picked up by Lester Barali. He gets smothered by defenders. Still holding the ball. Fights through. Over the shoulder shot for the score. Angelo Lester Barali putting on a show here for the Wolfpack as he got smothered by about 4 or 5 defenders over the course of that advance. Fought his way through and then decided to go for the fancy shot back over his shoulder to cut the Brookline lead to just 1. Face off, scooped up by McHugh again. He's been strong on those face-offs. Pass to the middle, too much traffic, but they got to pick up the loose ball. It is picked up by Peterson Davis. Peterson Davis ball's knocked out by McHugh and given right back to the Wolfpack as it bounces out of bounds. Lester Barali throws to the back to White. White over to Rowley. Rowley out to Osborne. Osborne across to Berube. Now over to Osborne. Osborne trying to get around, shoots, and saved by Katz. Sorry for the bad camera work on that one. When it gets this sunny out, sometimes it's hard to see my screens because the light reflects it all weird, and so sometimes I'm like, wait, where's my camera pointing? I can't see. Off that long pass, recovered by Peterson Davis again. Peterson Davis juggles the ball, recovers it himself. Looking for a pass, gets it to Carr. Carr up to Walpowitz. Walpowitz to the back to Wilson. Wilson out to Tolkoff, lost the ball. Scooped up by number 13, Dylan Murray for Boston Latin. And now a pass missed by the Wolfpack. Scooped up by Brookline's number 13, Jack Henry. Henry looking around. Long pass back. And it looks like another timeout has been called by Brookline. Boy, just a number of sloppy passes so far. It is a bit windy out here. We are, in the eastern part of Boston, closer to the airport. And, you know, anyone who's ever been around this area, you know the wind really whips around here. You can't really hear it, and that's on purpose. As I do have a wind guard on my mic, this helps to drown out the background noise a bit. You know, it's just those little fuzzy things that you see on microphones a lot. Those are meant to make sure that, you know, the sound of wind or the sound of a really loud crowd doesn't drown out the voice of the person speaking into the mic, which in this case obviously is me. But nonetheless, it is a bit windy here, so you wonder if that plays any kind of a role with how much weight a lacrosse ball has to it. I don't think it should, but you never know. Because some of these are definitely forced passes from just really long distances or passes into traffic, but then some of them are just routine passes that guys are just flubbing. Out of the timeout, Blackburn will start with it for Brookline. Floats it over to Fish. Fish up to Tolkoff. And just gives it back to Fish. Fish just gives it back to Blackburn. Blackburn approaching. Gets around his man. Looking for a pass, throws to the back to Wilson. A flag is thrown against Boston Latin. Delayed penalty as Wilson's pass misses high. And it bounces past midfield and out of bounds. But Brookline gets the benefit of the delayed penalty. That's called on Tyler Osborne. It's been a bit of a sloppy game so far for Ryan Wilson. You know, anyone who's watched these games knows how talented a player he is, often a leading scorer for Brookline. So you know he can play better than what he's shown so far, and I imagine he will as he, you know, sharpens his game as the game goes on. Walpowitz out to Fish, up top to Blackburn. Over to Carr. Tolkoff. Wilson. Pass back, Blackburn. Over to Fish. Juggled. Almost lost, but just barely gets passed away to Walpowitz. Walpowitz throws to the back. Wilson. Wilson. Pass from out the back to Tolkoff. Now up to Carr. Carr winds, fires, misses. Out of bounds, stays Brookline ball. Walpowitz coming across. Jump shot, score! Seth Walpowitz on the board as Brookline goes back up by 2. Boy, he really just walked up slowly and then just wound up and fired. Kept it simple. And Brookline now up 5-3. Off the face-off, it's chased for the ball. Diaz gets knocked away from it, and it's taken by McHugh again. McHugh's pass, a bit errant there. Couple players vying for that loose ball. Still fighting for it. Goes up in the air, still no clear possession. And we got a whistle. I think they might have called Brookline for a push during the fight for that loose ball, and so they give it to Boston Latin. This one area Brookline has had to work on a lot after the graduation of last year's face-off specialist Zach Weissman. Brookline has shown some struggles to get those possessions off of faceoffs. We got a yellow flag coming out for Brookline that will now be triggered as Peterson Davis blocked that pass. Looks like they're going to send off number 16, Billy Bamberg, as he and Jack Henry got very physical trying to contain Angelo Lester Barali. It's tough. Lester Barali has shown a great ability to fight through defenders rather than around them. But now the man-up advantage for the Wolfpack. Working it around the back. White to Osborne to Rowley. Rowley fires and scores. Boston Latin answers right back. First goal of the game from someone besides Angelo Lester Barali, and it comes from Nolan Rowley. Five to 4, the Brookline lead here in the second quarter. It is Jonathan Diaz for Brookline and Benjamin Davidson for Boston Latin in the center of these face-off battles. As this one knocked loose again, chasing it down. Diaz could not scoop it up. O'Brien trying to snag it, and he does. Thomas O'Brien controls it for Brookline. Pass back out to Tolkoff as Brookline starts on offense. Tolkoff gives it to Blackburn. Blackburn up to Walpowitz. Now back to Wilson. Wilson coming from around the back. And passes it out to Tolkoff. Back up top, now Blackburn approaching. Nothing there. Yellow flag flies. Brookline going to benefit from the delayed penalty, as it's given now to Walpowitz. Walpowitz spins, trying to get around another jump shot. Score! Seth Walpowitz from downtown once again. As you see, Walpowitz, the initial spin to get off one defender, just races around the other, and some bad camera work from me, but a long shot that finds the inside of the far post. And Walpowitz has his second goal of the day. I think I'm going to zoom out a little more to give myself a little more leeway with these camera angles. Off the face-off. It's rolling, chased down by O'Brien again. O'Brien racing up the sideline, forced to the ground, loose ball. Rolls out of bounds, last touched by Boston Latin, and Brookline keeps it. Tolkoff. Throws it up to Wilson. Wilson to Walpowitz. He's got two already. He throws it up top to Blackburn. Now over to Carr. Carr up to Tolkoff. Back to Wilson. Wilson coming around the back. Pass out to Fish. And some kind of violation called on Brookline. I didn't see what it was. But whatever it is, Boston Latin gets the ball. 6-4, the Brookline lead here in the second quarter. Currently being handled by number 21, Billy Cuniff. Still looking around. Off a pick, gets a bit of an opening, charging in, weaving through, trying to fight off the defenders. Shot misses wide. The Wolfpack attackers have shown a lot of strength fighting through Brookline defenders. White pass taken off the bounce by Rowley. He does recover it. Pass back, White from the back, pass through, finds his man. Shot saved by Katz. Loose ball picked up by Katz. Now Peterson Davis back to Katz. Katz running up. Pass forward, taken off the bounce. Loose ball. And it is recovered by Carr. Carr off and running. Pass ahead, Wilson. Low shot, missed off the post. Boy, this day has just been kind of cursed for Ryan Wilson so far. He's had a couple of bad turnovers, a couple of shots that were forced that he didn't have, and then that shot, the best look he's had all day, and it goes off the post. And a yellow flag flies. And so Brookline will get the man-up advantage as that foul was called on Jack Burstein. Carr out to Tolkoff. Tolkoff gives to Blackburn. Blackburn to Fish. Now to Walpowitz, coming around, looking, fires, scores! Seth Walpowitz makes it 3. Both his team's lead and his goal total for the day so far. And again, he's just been whipping these. You know, nothing complicated, you know, no acrobatic moves around the defenders or anything like that. Just when he gets an opening from the mid-range, he just winds and fires, and it's been working for him. 3 goals now for the Brookline senior. Face-off won by Diaz. Diaz off and running with it. Floats it to the back to Wilson. Wilson throws it out to Tolkoff, and it's lost out of bounds. Oh, they're saying it was disrupted by the Boston Latin defense, and so Brookline keeps it. Tolkoff. Coming along the right side, lost the ball, but recovers it himself. Pass back, Walpowitz. 3 goals so far today for Walpowitz as he throws it up top to Blackburn. Blackburn approaching. Walled off. Throws it back to Wilson. Wilson back out. Tolkoff shot. Score! Manny Tolkoff off the assist from Ryan Wilson. Those two have had a couple of missed connections on some routine passes today, but that a very nice pass from out the back. And Tolkoff takes advantage of the opening for his first goal of the day. Two quick goals from Brookline. Another face-off won by Diaz. They're trying to pour it on here. They lead by 4. Diaz throws it to the back, disrupted by Burstein, but recovered by Wilson. Wilson battling against Burstein along the back. Trying to spin, ball's poked loose by Burstein, and he takes it. But his pass misses. Walpowitz jumping in his face, and that pass flies out of bounds. Brookline takes it back. Our pass up to Wolpowitz. Along the back to Wilson. Wilson. With seconds ticking away in the second quarter, breaks free, long shot, score! Ryan Wilson at the buzzer. And just like that, Brookline with 4 unanswered goals to close out the half. Ryan Wilson breaking free. His teammates were helping him out, counting down the clock for him so he could focus on what he needed to do as he scores his first goal of the day. We are at halftime now. Our score at the half: Brookline 9, Boston Latin 4. Individual stats so far for Boston Latin: Angelo Lester Barali leading the way with 3 goals, Nolan Rowley with 1 goal, Tyler Osborne with 1 assist. For Brookline, Seth Wolpowitz leading the way with 3 goals, James Carr with 2 goals, Ryan Wilson 1 goal, 1 assist. 1 goal each from Manny Tolkoff, Jacob Fish, and Shabar Peterson-Davis, and 1 assist from Buzz Blackburn. During this halftime break, I'd like to make a few shout-outs. First, a shout-out to Power Within Fitness, a local business that generously opted to foot the bill for Thursday's stream and this stream. So thanks again to Power Within Fitness for that. And if you would like to help out the Brookline High Boys Lacrosse program financially, just as Power Within has, then you can check out a link at the top of the description section down below this video, where you can see a link for the official Venmo account for the Friends of Brookline Lacrosse Booster Club, the official booster club of Brookline High Boys Lacrosse. And a special reason that you might want to send some money to Friends of Brookline Lacrosse is they are holding a raffle right now, actually, with a chance to win the Red Sox Hall of Fame experience. The winner of the raffle will be drawn on Friday, May 10, and the winner will win 4 premium tickets to a 2024 Red Sox regular season game, a VIP tour with the opportunity to watch batting practice from the field, and a pre-game meal at the Dell Technologies Club. Raffle tickets are $25 each or $5 for $100, and proceeds will go to the Friends of Brookline Lacrosse Booster Club to support BHS Boys Lacrosse. So that's one way you can help out. And then another way you can help out the community is by taking a look at our local charity spotlight for today, the Brookline Education Foundation. The Brookline Education Foundation raises funds to help promote growth and innovation among Brookline educators, growth that can then be passed on to the children of this community. For over 40 years, this foundation has given out a variety of grants across the educational landscape. These include Idea Lab grants for teachers that want to present their students with new and exciting projects, and teacher grants for educators that want to further develop their own skills to bring to the classroom. Many initiatives which have become staples in the public schools of Brookline started as BEF grants. They support literacy education training, new methods in STEM education, project-based learning, mentoring of new principals and superintendents, and collaborative work around diversity, equity, and inclusion, just to name a few. Visit brooklinefoundation.org or call 617-232-3846 to find out how you can help support our town's educators and, through them, our students. Once again, brooklinefoundation.org or call 617-232-3846. And once again, you can find that information about our local charity spotlight down in the description down below, beneath the information about the Friends of Brookline Lacrosse. So be sure to check those out in the description section. Going to take a minute and mute the mic for halftime, but I'll be back with the second half of this ball game. Stay tuned. Hello again, everybody. Back on the mic. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, coming to you live from Garvey Park in Dorchester, Massachusetts. Here to bring you the second half of today's high school varsity boys lacrosse contest between the hosting Boston Latin School Wolfpack and the visiting Brookline High Warriors. The Warriors have jumped out to a 9-4 lead after a pretty back-and-forth first quarter and a pretty back-and-forth first half of the second quarter. Brookline exploded late in the second quarter. 4 unanswered goals for the Warriors to take a 5-goal lead here. We got another note in email from Barbara Picorni. I had hoped to be on the sidelines today, but so glad that, hold on, my screen's cutting off for some strange reason. But so glad that when I can't, I can watch Ryan Wilson and teammates play from Connecticut. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, Barbara. I hope you're enjoying the game. It's been a fun one so far. As we get set now for the start of the third quarter. Brookline with a sizable lead of 5 goals, but we saw with Brookline's scoring streak late in the second how quickly the tides can change in this sport. So Brookline can't afford to let up at this point. Face off. Knocked loose, picked up by Tyler Osborne. Oh, but a push called on the Wolfpack, and the ball goes to Brookline. It's Okay, a brief bit of confusion there, but now it's taken by James Carr. Carr had 2 goals in the first half for Brookline in the first quarter. Floats that pass over to Jacob Fish. Fish scored what I believe to be his first career varsity goal in the first half, as he gives it now to Seth Walpowitz, who led the way with 3 goals in that first half. A big part of that scoring streak as he tries to spin off his man, looking for a pass through traffic. Too much traffic as it was knocked away by Jack Burstein. Scooped up by number 28, Ronan Ezekiel. But that pass gets away. It's being fought for between Burstein and Walpowitz. It's still loose now. Burstein does pick it up. Burstein running with it. Pass up to Osborne. Osborne's got some room to work. Pass up. This is Lester Barali's shot saved by Katz. And now the ball knocked in off the ground. And that is a goal for the Wolfpack. Based on the celebration, I think that was scored by Rowley. Nolan Rowley with his second goal of the day, and in a day full of some wild, chaotic goals, that one might have been the wildest and the chaoticest, as that cuts the Brookline lead down to 4. Face-off collected by Thomas O'Brien. O'Brien throws a long pass up, finds Ryan Wilson, pass across to Tolkoff. Manny Tolkoff finishes. The Wilson-Tolkoff connection strikes again. Ryan Wilson with his second assist of the day, both of them going to Manny Tolkoff. So Brookline answers right back, extends their lead back out to 5. Face-off flies up in the air, taken off the bounce by Osborne. Osborne carries it into the attack area, but lost the ball. Oh, hard hit from Haas, and he is going to get flagged for that one. Craig Haas trying to take advantage of the dropped ball by Osborne, but went too hard on that play, and now Boston Latin is going to have the man-up advantage. Angelo Lester Barali, who led the Wolfpack with 3 goals in the first half, starts with the ball. Throws it up top to Rowley, back to Lester Barali, back to Rowley. The two are just playing catch right now. Now swung the other way. And then back to Lester Barali. Throws it forward and back. Now to the middle, finds a man, but the shot from Burstein couldn't be finished. And the second shot is now a crazy loose ball as it's covered up by Dylan Katz. Crazy chance for the Wolfpack, but they could not finish as they're applying some pressure now. Katz forced to make a pass, and it gets away. He looked away from the ball, and it's scooped up, and the shot is missed by Charlie Partridge. It will stay with the Wolfpack as they're trying to take advantage of a bad turnover in transition by Brookline. Lester Barali. Low shot, missed wide. 10-5, the Brookline lead here in the third quarter. They work it up top, Burstein, now to Rowley, over to Lester Barali. The man-up advantage is over. Lester Barali trying to spin off Henry, pushed back, long shot, missed wide again. Stays with Boston Latin as they work it back up top to Rowley. Rowley spins, help arrives, shot might have gone off the post there actually, as the rebound recovered by Thomas O'Brien, and a flag is thrown as O'Brien got hit in the face. But O'Brien off and running with it, with a free opportunity, pass up, Wilson turned aside by Will Ferraro. But Brookline now to get the man-up advantage off that early flag thrown against Boston Latin. It was a great read defensively by the Boston Latin goalie, Will Ferraro, as Wilson open right in front of him, point-blank shot, and Ferraro still stopped him. So now Brookline on the man up. Blackburn over to Fish, to Walpowitz, to the back Wilson, to Carr, to Tolkoff, to Blackburn, and back to Fish. They're just working it around the horn looking for something. Blackburn back to Walpowitz, thought about the shot, instead goes around looking, just not there. Gives it over to Fish, to the back, Wilson, directing traffic from the back. Looking, pass out to Tolkoff, to Blackburn, to Fish, to Walpowitz again. And back again to Wilson. Wilson, pass gets away from Walpowitz. Might have been a chance there, but instead recovered by Fish. Fish lost the ball. Disrupted by McHugh. Loose ball, still loose. Being chased after. Still being chased after all the way down to the Brookline end. It's finally picked up by Blackburn. Floated over to Peterson Davis. Peterson Davis lost it. Recovers it. Being pursued by Lester Barali. Peterson Davis running with it. Long pass up. Open man. Wilson. Extra pass. And Walpowitz was thinking shot before he collected the pass. And lost it out of bounds, and it will go back to Boston Latin. Seen a couple of wild sequences there. That ball was going back and forth as that pass gets a what? No, it's simply a dead ball and Wolfpack ball. Osborne throws it up to Lester Barali, to the back, to White, back out to Rowley. Rowley passing to traffic, hard hit again from Haas, and he is coming off again as he was trying to stop Billy Cuniff from taking a shot and just hit him too hard. You know, it's almost kind of funny. Haas in the winter season known as a goalie for the BHS boys hockey team. So not, you know, in that sport, he's not usually the guy laying on the hits. But in this sport, very much is. Up top, long shot saved by Dylan Katz. Katz floats one out to Peterson Davis. Back to Katz. Katz long rainbow pass connects with Blackburn. And a timeout is called by Brookline. 10-5 is the Brookline lead. Just one goal from each team so far here in the third quarter. For Brookline, Seth Walpowitz still the leader on offense with 3 goals. James Carr and Manny Tolkoff with 2 goals each. Ryan Wilson with 1 goal and 2 assists, both of them to Tolkoff. Jacob Fish and Shabar Peterson-Davis with 1 goal each, and Buzz Blackburn with 1 assist. For Boston Latin, Angelo Lester Barali with 3 goals, Nolan Rowley with 2 goals, and Tyler Osborne with 1 assist. Out of the timeout, Brookline will have possession. Now, we've seen in past possessions where they come out of a timeout and don't execute well right out of the timeout. Let's see what they do here. Ryan Wilson starting with it for a change. Looking for a pick. Around the pick. Taking off with speed. Still holding the ball as he races all the way to his usual spot behind the net. Still being chased by Burstein from behind. Spins off him. Looking for another pick from Carr. Lost the ball. It was knocked away, but nobody saw it, and so Wilson was able to race back and recover it himself. He is being triple-teamed right now and shoved out of bounds, and Boston Latin takes it. Long bouncing pass is scooped up by Lester Barali. Lester Barali gets around 1, pass up, finds his man, pass back out, shot sails way high from Berube. Boston Latin there to cover it. Quentin White throws it across back to Angelo Lester Barali. Lester Barali passed through traffic, almost found his man, but disrupted by Shabar Peterson-Davis. Ball's still loose, ultimately picked up by the Wolfpack. Pass gets to Lester Barali. He's trying to fight his way around traffic. Pass misses his target and couldn't be recovered inbounds. White just couldn't get his stick on it correctly to keep it from bouncing out of bounds. Peterson-Davis gives to Katz, who gives back to Peterson-Davis. Almost lost it, but recovers it himself. But the offensive pressure came in, knocked it away. Lester Barali charging in, coming around the back. Covered by Henry. Still fighting. Opts to pass out. Berube, long shot. Oh, that hit Fish. Hit Fish in the body. And now, loose ball being scrummed for. And whoa, a little extra pushing and shoving after the whistle there. As things heating up and getting physical. This game's been getting increasingly more and more physical as it's gone on. But for now, the possession stays with Boston Latin. Berube, pass to Burstein. Now over to Berube. Gets around 1. Shot saved by Katz. Katz, pass up to O'Brien. O'Brien, long pass to nobody. As it looks like he got pushed in the back, after, maybe disrupted him. But it looks like the shove came after the pass, so I'm not sure. Looks like it might have been intended for a number 8 Max Delaney. Hard to tell. Either way, Boston Latin ball. Over the shoulder pass misses the target, but it is recovered along the far sideline by Rowley. Rowley into the attack end. Going down the far side. Trying to force his way through. Falling shot stopped by Katz. Oh, but it looks like they called the push on Brookline. And so it will stay Boston Latin ball. Lester Barali coming around the back. Trying to spin. Help defense arrives. Hard collision. And another flag is thrown. Lester Barali gets up. Shot saved by Katz. Picked up by O'Brien, but that's going to trigger the flag, as I believe it was called on Haas again. Haas has been having a rough day with those flags. And now Boston Latin will have the advantage. Or will they? No. Do they call that on O'Brien? What's happening right now? I have no idea what's going on, but Lester Barali with the ball fires a shot. Missed it. Goes to the back. Another flag is thrown? This is a little confusing. Okay, looks like it's actually going to be a 2-up advantage now for Boston Latin as the 2 flags force Brookline to go down to 4 defenders. Lester Barali approaching. Pass back out, Rowley. And then over to Osborne, back to Rowley. Rowley winds, fires, missed it. Might have been redirected by Katz. But either way, it stays with Boston Latin. Pass does go back out. The shot was blocked there by Peterson Davis, and he scoops it up. Peterson Davis trying to bring it out, but it's knocked out of his pocket. Taken back now by Bursting. Quick pass up. Trying to aggressively attack. Osborne couldn't get around Delaney. Pass back out. Bursting shot saved by Katz. Loose ball right in front of the net, and Katz picks it up. Brookline survives the 6-on-4 situation, and a pass is Haas, the victim of the penalty this time, as he gets hit in the head with the stick there. And now Brookline is going to have the advantage, I think. Ten to 5, still the Brookline lead here in the third. It's been a low-scoring third quarter compared to the first 2. And now we get started. Carr to Tolkoff. It's been a little while since Brookline's been on offense. Blackburn, pass to Fish and to Walpowitz. Back to Blackburn. Blackburn gives to Walpowitz. Back to Blackburn. Blackburn winds, fires, saved by Ferraro. Ferraro, long outlet pass, misses. Osborne bouncing along, taken by Katz. Katz floats one across to Delaney. Delaney pass away from the pressure to Peterson-Davis. Peterson-Davis with a nice move to get around one. Floats pass up to Carr. Carr shakes off a couple defenders, takes off running. Pass forward, Walpowitz. Walpowitz. Pass out to Fish, to Blackburn. Now over to Tolkoff. Tolkoff missed wide. It will stay with Brookline. Wilson throws it out to Walpowitz. Now up top, Blackburn. Back to Carr. Back to Blackburn. Blackburn charging in. Bounces off his defender. Heads down the far side, throws to the back to Wilson. Wilson looking. Past Tolkoff. Tolkoff looking around, spins off his man. Charging in and couldn't get the pass off in time as the horn sounds for the end of the third quarter. At the end of 3, the score, the Brookline Warriors 10, the Boston Latin Wolfpack 5. Low-scoring third quarter, we saw a quick goal early from Boston Latin, and then a quick response from Brookline made it 10-5, but then both defenses locked in for the rest of the quarter. Just 2 collective goals from the two teams. For comparison, the two teams combined for 6 total goals in the first quarter and 8 total goals in the second quarter. And now, or actually no, 7 total goals in the second quarter, my mistake. But either way, 6 in the first, 7 in the second, and now just 2 in the third. So 1 quarter left to play. Brookline still leads by 5 as we head into the last 12 minutes of the game. Marlene Lyons in the live chat saying, Katz saves are fantastic. And Katz has proven himself a very capable netminder for this Brookline lacrosse team. We saw him make a number of great saves on Thursday against a very strong Canton team that helped keep Brookline within striking distance for a large chunk of that game. And that's the thing. He's been strong today. You know, it's still, but like, I'd argue he had an even better performance on Thursday. You know, that's just the kind of potential he has in net. And it's also funny, I was talking about Haas and the different position he plays on the ice in the winter. It's almost the reverse for Katz, because Katz is a defender on that Hot Boys hockey team, but a goalie here in lacrosse. So he and Haas kind of swap positions between the seasons. Diaz and Davidson setting up for their first face-off in, well, in a while. Looks like I said we had 2 early goals in the third quarter and then nothing for a while. First face-off of the final quarter, and it's picked up by Tyler Osborne for the Wolfpack. Osborne racing down the far side. Defended by Jack Henry. And he gets knocked to the ground. Flag is thrown. Looks like that's going to be against Henry. And Boston Latin will have the one-up advantage. Throw behind the net, Quentin White back out to Osborne. Up top to Rowley. Over to Angelo Lester Barali. Lester Barali's shot is in from long distance. Angelo Lester Barali with his 4th goal of the game thus far. He leads all scorers now. As, you know, nothing complicated that. Just went for a rise shot from a distance and found the back of the net. 10-6, the Brookline lead. Face off, chased down by Aiden McHugh. McHugh running with it, keeping the ball. Now it's knocked loose, but recovered by Burstein. Long pass up, finds Osborne. Osborne charging. Now stops, throws it back. Pass now, a shot missed wide as that was Garrett Berube on the shot there. Stays with Boston Latin. White passes over to Rowley. Rowley out to Osborne, across to Berube, over to Lester Barali. Lester Barali trying to fend off Henry, and the help defender fires a shot high. White gives to Rowley, over to Osborne. To the back to Burstein as he comes in on offense. Pass to Lester Barali. Lester Barali. Pass away to Rowley. Now down low. Osborne trying to spin. Shot wide. Now Billy Cuniff, I think, or no, it is going to be White. Pass out to Lester Barali, coming across, shot was blocked, out of bounds, stays with the Wolfpack. Pass goes out to Osborne. Rowley. Rowley pass up to Burstein, now up to Osborne, back out to Rowley, across to Lester Barali. Way across, misses Osborne, bounces out of bounds, Brookline ball. O'Brien gives to Katz. Katz running up with it. Long pass, misses, easily intercepted. Now a long pass the other way, intercepted right back by Shabar Peterson-Davis. Peterson-Davis taken to the ground, his helmet flies off, and they blow the whistle. And it's going to be Boston Latin ball. Burstein to Osborne. Down to Rowley. To the back to White. Back to Rowley. Up top, Osborne. Osborne approaching. Trying to go the other way. Finds the opening. Shoots and scores. This game is not over yet. Boston Latin cuts the deficit to 3 as Tyler Osborne scores his first goal of the day. Face off. Being fought for, and it's collected by Jonathan Diaz. Diaz pass up to Wolpowitz. Wolpowitz pass slightly disrupted, and Tolkov couldn't collect it. It's rolling out of bounds, saved, but collected by the Wolfpack, but then knocked loose again. Ball's still loose, picked up briefly by Haas, and now a whistle is blown. And it's going to be Boston Latin ball. Pass misses. Ferraro wildly. That one just got completely away from him. And I don't think that was saved in bounds. It wasn't. It'll be Brookline ball. Rough turnover for the Wolfpack there. Wolpowitz throws up to Blackburn. Up to Wolpowitz. Wolpowitz working around to the back. Floats it over to Tolkov. Out to Fish. Fish to Blackburn. Blackburn approaching. Fends off his man. And a whistle is called against Blackburn, I believe, as it goes back to the Wolfpack off the violation. I think they called Blackburn for a push-off. Long pass intercepted by Peterson Davis again. As he runs up with it, keeps it himself. Now a pass up finds Tolkov. Tolkov turns around and throws it back out as Brookline gets set on offense again. Carr out to Blackburn. Brookline hoping they can re-extend their lead. They are currently up 3 here in the 4th. Wolpowitz spins, come around, jump shot, turned aside by Ferraro. Wilson back there to make sure it stays with Brookline. Wilson trying to spin off his man, coming around the back, pass through traffic, intercepted by Burstein. Ball's knocked loose from Burstein, but he recovers, throws a long pass, intercepted by Blackburn. Blackburn running it back the other way. Throws to the back, Wilson. Wilson throws back out to Tolkov. And now to Carr. Carr coming around, long shot, missed, recovered by Wilson. Wilson looking for somewhere to go, covered by Burstein. Pass misses Tolkov. And that's going to bounce out of bounds and give it back to the Wolfpack. Brookline still has not scored since their early goal back in the third quarter, back at the very start of the third quarter, as a timeout is now called by Boston Latin. Marlene Lyons in the live chat, Brookline having a great game today. And they have been playing well today, but they have got to lock in for these final minutes. The Brookline offense has gone quite cold since that explosive run at the end of the second quarter. Scored once early in the third quarter, and since that second goal by Manny Tolkoff, Brookline has not scored since. Now, granted, in that same time span, Boston Latin has only scored twice, but those 2 goals have cut the deficit down to 3. Out of the timeout, pass goes back to Ronan Ezekiel. Ezekiel's pass misses its target, bouncing along down the sideline, and it's recovered by the Wolfpack. Pass goes out to Burstein from, I think, Partridge, as it now gets sent up top to Rowley. Rowley floats past, finds his man. That's Partridge. Back up top, Rowley. They work it around. And back up top again. Now over to Lester Barali. Lester Barali pass finds Burstein. Burstein throws, misses. Rowley intercepted by O'Brien. Long pass intercepted by the long stick. Intercepted right back by Brookline's long stick with Peterson Davis. Throws it up to Walpowitz. Walpowitz off and running. Walpowitz got an opening. Walpowitz extra pass. Deflected away. Aiden McHugh with the last line of defense there to disrupt the pass to Ryan Wilson. And now a battle for the loose ball. It's picked up by Tolkoff. Net's empty. But Brookline can't get an opening. Tolkoff just keeps retreating. Covered by McHugh. Tolkoff now charging. Shoots, saved by Ferraro. Flag is thrown. It was a nice save by Will Ferraro, but Brookline will now get the one-up advantage. Fish throws it up to Walpowitz, to the back to Wilson. Throws it out to Tolkoff. No, now up to Tolkoff from Carr, and now over to Blackburn. And back to Fish. They work it around again. Walpowitz thought about the shot, decided against. Out to Blackburn, over to Tolkoff, to Carr, to the back, Wilson. Wilson from out of the back, pass out to Carr, out to Tolkoff. Didn't shoot, gives to Blackburn, over to Fish, to Walpowitz. Walpowitz back to Blackburn, across Tolkoff. Winds, fires, misses wide. And Brookline didn't have the back line covered. And so possession goes back to Boston Latin. Ferraro floats pass over to Ezekiel. Ezekiel off and running with it. Low scooping shot, or maybe a pass, either way, blocked by Max Delaney, and Delaney picks it up. Delaney lost his stick completely, taken off the turnover by Rowley. Rowley trying to charge in, covered by Peterson Davis. Pass out, missed. Scooped up by Bamberg. Hard collision as the ball was loose again. Picked up by Lester Barali. Lester Barali tries a shot, blocked, recovered. Bursting shot, blocked. Loose ball in front of the net. Knocked away by Peterson Davis, but scooped up again by the Wolfpack. Weaving through. Osborne couldn't get the shot off. Disrupted shot by Rowley. Went off someone's body. Did you get all that, folks? Boy, another chaotic sequence in what has been a crazy game so far. Bursting, winds, fires, bounces it too high and wide as well. Controlling it now is Berube. Coming around the back. Trying to fight through. Shot was saved by Katz at point blank range. Loose ball knocked back. Picked up Lester Barali. Shot saved by Katz. Two nice saves from Dylan Katz to fend off the Wolfpack. Being pressured by Berube now. He's got to find somewhere to go with the ball. He's just taken off running with it himself. Now floats a pass forward. Finds his man. That's Blackburn. Blackburn pass to Carr. As Carr gets hit from behind. Lost the ball. Ball still loose. Popped up in the air. Out of bounds. Looks like it'll be Brookline ball. Refs were explaining something to the coaches. Walpowitz throws it back to Wilson. Wilson running across the back, turns around. Looking for somewhere to go against Ezekiel. Now pass away to Carr and out to Tolkoff. Over to Blackburn. Back to Tolkoff. And a timeout is called by Brookline. So without the scoreboard, I can't tell you how much time is left in this game. All I can tell you is that it is the fourth quarter and Brookline is trying to hold on with a 10-7 lead. And as I mentioned in the beginning, this game could have some serious playoff implications, not necessarily for the highest seeds in the playoffs, but for teams on the fringes fighting to stay in it. Brookline came in 31st in the power rankings that came out yesterday morning. Boston Latin 35th. The top 32 teams are the ones who make it to the dance, plus any team below that ranking with a 500 or better record. And with both teams currently standing with losing records, the teams need to keep up the best possible spot in the power rankings. if the season were to end at this very moment, Brookline would make it to the dance. Boston Latin would not. So an important finish here for these teams for their respective playoff hopes. Out of the timeout, Wilson running down along the back. Trying to spin off his man. Knocked away from behind, taken by Burstein. Outlet pass does get to Ezekiel. Ezekiel holds the ball. Pass complete to McHugh. McHugh to Osborne. Osborne juggled it briefly but recovered. Now he floats up a high pass. Gets to it was to Berube, but the stick knocked out of his hand. Loose ball picked up by Fish. Thrown back to Katz. Katz running with it. Floats pass upfield. Intercepted. Taken away by Burstein. Burstein sprinting upfield. Long. I'm not sure if that was a pass or a shot, but it flies out of bounds. And it looks like it's going to go back to Brookline. Katz to Peterson-Davis. They're counting down the last seconds of the game as Tolkoff holding it. And there is your final horn. The Brookline Warriors get the win on the road. The final score, Brookline 10, Boston Latin 7. Not too much scoring in that second half as Brookline rode that big scoring streak late in the second quarter to a sizable halftime lead and then just held on the rest of the way. Final individual stats for Brookline. Seth Walpowitz leads the way with 3 goals. Manny Tolkoff and James Carr with 2 goals each. Ryan Wilson with 1 goal and 2 assists. Jacob Fish and Shabar Peterson-Davis with 1 goal each, with Fish getting what I believe was his first career varsity goal, and Buzz Blackburn with 1 assist. For Boston Latin, Angelo Lester Barali carried the Wolfpack offense with 4 goals. Nolan Rowley had 2 goals, and Tyler Osborne had 1 goal and 1 assist. Well, that is going to do it for this one. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Remember, if you enjoyed this live stream, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams. Thank you to all those who brought the good vibes in the live chat today. Remember, if there's anything you'd like to say after the live stream has concluded, you can say it in the comments section down below. And also be sure to go down below to the description section of the video where you can find some helpful links, a link to the official Venmo account of the Friends of Brookline Lacrosse Booster Club if you would like to support Brookline High Boys Lacrosse financially. You can also find a link and phone number for our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Education Foundation. And you can also find some links related to me, either down below in the description section or in the bottom right corner of your screen. My personal website, jessesports.com. Find out more about me, the freelance sports broadcasting services that I provide to various teams, and how you can commission those services for your favorite team. Or if you want to skip past all that and You can just contact me directly. You can just send me an email with any questions or requests you may have. And remember to follow me on Instagram, where I post highlights from previous live streams and the links for upcoming live streams. But for this live stream, that is going to do it. The final score, the Brookline High Warriors 10, the Boston Latin School Wolfpack 7. From Garvey Park in Dorchester, Massachusetts, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.